What's up? Play Sports Gamer here, and I got a video mostly concerning Xbox exclusive Redfall. Xbox spent a lot of money on Bethesda to get exclusive games onto Game Pass. Redfall was starting its development before Xbox bought Bethesda. There could have been development time for the PlayStation version. But when Xbox bought Bethesda, Redfall was going to be an Xbox exclusive only and featuring on Game Pass. So there was a lot of crying and whining when it got leaked out that Redfall was at first gonna be on Xbox and PlayStation. So they were crying that it wasn't gonna be on PlayStation anymore. But before I get into that, let's talk a little bit about Redfall. Redfall is one of the biggest games released for Xbox this year, along with Starfield. They got the 1-2 punch along with Forza whenever that gets released. They're saying it could be this year, but that thing keeps on getting delayed and delayed. So we're wondering when that's going to release. But with Bethesda, it's Redfall and Starfield. There have been little gameplay hits here and there with Redfall. At first, people were meh on it. They weren't that great on it at the first trailer. It just looked like a cartoony co-op adventure with little depth. Since then, they released gameplay trailers which expanding on the game, and it made it look a little better. Open world co-op adventure, could be played single player, almost just as good as co-op. Honestly, it's never as good as co-op, because co-op is a lot more fun when you're playing with friends. Anybody can attest to that. So the hype got a little more with Redfall, but still it did not look like a great game. Like, it didn't look like one of those great arcane games like Prey and the hype of Deathloop, which got good reviews, but players didn't really like it that much after playing it, but it still got great hype. It got gameplay awards. Everybody is hyped that Arcane was doing this game because they have a good past of releasing great games, but this doesn't seem like one of those great games. So to get even more hype, because it's releasing in May, Arcane invited YouTubers and game players over their studio to play a couple hours, and we've been, over the last week or so, been seeing gameplay reactions of that. Players for the most part were mixed, a little on the positive end. They weren't thoroughly impressed with the game. This is disheartening to Xbox because they really need a surefire hit. They need to get people on the Game Pass. They really need to get a game that God of War and Horizon is to PlayStation, and it's been ages since Xbox had an exclusive game that correlates to that. Probably not since Halo 3, in my opinion. It's been many years that Xbox hasn't had a big time exclusive. Yes, they had Forza Horizon, but that gets very repetitive. Yes, it's great on the get-go, but then it just wears on you and it gets same old, same old. The Xbox needs this. That's the thing on Redfall, in my opinion. But now let's talk about how PlayStation is crying about this, which I don't understand. How PlayStation people can cry about Redfall being an Xbox exclusive when you have all those PlayStation exclusive games, and the biggest one of all is Final Fantasy. The latest Final Fantasy games cannot show up on the Xbox. They can't have the biggest Final Fantasy game there is, Final Fantasy VII, the remake, on Xbox. You can't have the latest Final Fantasy games on Xbox. You got Spider-Man not showing up on Xbox. God of War, Horizon. These are companies and developers that PlayStation either paid to get exclusivity on this PlayStation or has bought the developers and only on PlayStation. Now they're crying about Redfall, which is a mixed game, showing up only on Xbox. It does not make sense. And it's showing up with the Activision Blizzard acquisition, where the PlayStation are hypocrites when they complain about Call of Duty being only on Xbox, which it isn't. Xbox would be stupid to do that. They'll lose so much money. These regulators are finding out that Sony, they want them to be one way and Xbox to be a different way, and Xbox games to show up on their consoles, but they don't want their games showing up on Xbox consoles. So it's like tiring hearing from all these PlayStation crybabies. And if you want these games from Bethesda and the future Activision, maybe stop buying Fortnite skins, saving up, and maybe buying an Xbox Series S. Get that for under $300. Then you can play all the games you want. You don't have to worry about games showing up on one console or the other. I know the majority of people, especially with this economy, is struggling, but the people, like companies companies like Fortnite and all that stuff are making billions per month from people buying skins and stupid stuff, battle passes. Maybe save up some of that money and get an Xbox if you're crying that loud. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think this is so stupid that there's a lot of crying about Redfall? And wait till Starfield gets released later this year. There's going to be more crying, especially if it's as good as Xbox fans are hoping for. So please subscribe, like, and comment below. Thanks. See ya.